Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So, about a week or so ago, I was out hiking in the mountains outside of Las Vegas. I was with my buddies Eric and Julie, and we're about, I don't know, an hour, maybe an hour and a half into the hike. As you progressed on this hike, there were fewer and fewer people on the trail. And as we're looking up ahead, kind of up the hill that we were hiking, you can see this guy that's running at a pretty fast pace towards us. He's coming from the other direction. So he's probably had already gone out, way out, and was probably coming back. And you can see the guy pushing it. You can see that he was doing work. And as he gets closer and closer, I realize, hey, that's David Goggins. So we said, hi, hey, what's up, man, or whatever it is, and he said hi, and that was really it. There's no big story, there's no photo, there's no conversation. So if you thought I was going to go there into some, great amazing story with David Goggins, that is not the case. But that moment has been one that's been on my mind, and since it occurred, and here's why. It wasn't because I ran into someone that's pretty well known, especially in the personal development space. I mean, the guy's been virtually everywhere for the past, call it, decade. And if you don't know about David Goggins, go Google him. You'll see exactly what I mean. But between the books he's written and the podcasts he's appeared on and the conferences he speaks at, he's pretty well known for all sorts of reasons, right? He's done lots of great things and he's got a certain approach. But anyhow, running into him because he was well known or even famous, that wasn't exactly what made me excited. It's that I saw someone being exactly who they say they are, specifically when nobody was watching. The, David Goggins didn't have a camera crew with him. He didn't have an audience. He's just out there on the trail, like alone, doing the hard things that he always talks about doing, which is exactly, doing the thing that his whole reputation is built upon. In other words, David Goggins was just out there doing David Goggins stuff. And I loved it. I really did. Like I really was smiling after I saw it. In my mind, I'm like, there's just Goggins doing Goggins stuff. In a world that I think is just full of social media nonsense, social media fraudulent behavior, AI generated everything. I think it's actually more rare than ever to see somebody go out and just honor what it is they talk about. Not only is it rare, it's valuable. And when you really get down to it, like why did I like it so much? What's the word? The word is authenticity. David Goggins was displaying authenticity. And I think it's important to break down what that word actually means because it gets thrown around all over the place. And to the extent, especially in today's world, maybe it's lost its meaning. See, I don't think that authenticity is some personality trait. I don't think it's a brand. I don't think it's a feeling or a vibe. I think authenticity at its core is alignment. It's alignment between what you say and what you do when nobody else is watching, when no one's checking on you. In some ways, I think it's a synonym for integrity. Quick thoughts on this. First thoughts, really three thoughts on this. I think that given what I just described, first thought, authenticity is proven in private, just like Goggins did there. Anybody can perform when there's an audience. You can post the workout for the audience. You could talk about the grind. You could say the right things in the meeting in front of people. But I think the real question is, what are you doing at, you know, an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours of the hike? What are you doing on the empty, lonely trail? when there isn't accolade, when there isn't credit available to you. I think that's where the truth lives. So authenticity is proven in private. Second, authenticity compounds trust. Authenticity compounds trust. As business owners, as entrepreneurs, I think trust is arguably the entire game. Trust with not just your customers, but trust with your people, your team, trust with your partners. And I think that people can really sense or feel the gap between maybe what you claim and what you actually do. And when there's no gap, in other words, when your actions match your words repeatedly, like over and over and over again, people don't just trust you, they actually will bet on you. They will refer you. They will follow you as a leader. You can't market your way to that sort of thing. You can only live your way to it. And I think, when you think about authenticity compounds trust, it is one reason why Goggins has such an amazing following, whereas there's probably more accomplished individuals out there in many ways that don't have quite that following. It's because he goes out there and does the stuff that he's talking about doing. Now, you don't want to take relationship advice from David Goggins, but when it comes to work ethic and commitment and follow through, he is a prophet in that space. The third thing I'm thinking about, authenticity is a filter for who you learn from. I think there's more advice available right now than at any point in human history. And the reality is, most of it is noise. A lot of it comes from people who don't actually do the thing they're teaching. So the filter I think we have to deploy, we got to probably ask the question, is this person doing the work when nobody's watching? That's why I think that moment on the trail when I saw Goggins hit me in the way that it did. He didn't know anyone would see him. Well, I guess he did know people would see him, right? Because he's that well known today and there's other people out on the trail. But for the most part, did he think, hey, one of the individuals that follows me or the people that follow him, that I'm going to run into him today and it's going to display my authenticity? Of course he didn't think that. He didn't know anybody of that nature would see him. He wasn't performing, in other words. He was just doing it. And that is the whole test. Now, look, I'm not saying you or I need to be Goggins. You don't need to run the crazy ultra races. I don't think you have to go out and do 5,000 push-ups or whatever he's doing this weekend. You just need to be you, like the real you. Whatever you tell your team you value, whatever you tell your customers that you in fact deliver, whatever you tell yourself that you're becoming, go and do that. Go and do that, especially when no one would ever know the difference, right? Like in the shadows, when you're away from everything else. That's when you especially do it because you will know. Like whether you're honoring who you say you are. And that knowledge, I think, shapes a lot of things. I think it shapes a lot of things internally. So here's your action item for the week. I want you to pick one thing you say about yourself. What you say about yourself to your team or your customers, or maybe just in your own head, like something like, I'm disciplined, or I'm a great communicator, or I put my family first. Then I want you to hold the mirror up and audit it. I want you to audit that statement. For the next week, watch your actual behavior, not your intentions, to be very clear. Watch your behavior and ask, does what I do match what I'm saying? If it does, that's awesome. Keep doing that. Keep going. And if there's a gap, close it like right away. You don't need to make an announcement about this discovery and how you just go out and close the gap. That's the work. That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.